Hosted by Mike, the Big Cheese.
Come on and fight! My legion screams, the gate must be open, I'm after to repel, a message of hope, up through the gates we march, settlers away to the sailors and craft, a vacuum but look is the time, a vacuum but look is the time, attacking with force every show no remorse, obstructing our victims' fate, something in the town, saluting the fight, our virgins must die this night. The kind of reaction of us to this kiss is taking the life from your soul and leading the train it is struck from hell and finding our way through. Curse of the legions of death. Curse of the legions of death. Curse of the legions of death. Legions of death! Curse of the legions of death! Curse of the legions of death! Curse of the legions of death!
All right, welcome back to the Heavy Metal Mayhem Radio Show. It is Sunday, April 14th, 2024. We got a great show for everybody tonight. Pete Mainzer of Hammerhead, George D. of The Wizards, both on tonight's show live. We'll be talking to Pete in about a half hour, an hour after that, George from The Wizards. Right there, Testament, Curse of the Legions of Death. What a great song off their debut record. I didn't get to read the whole article, but I saw that Chuck Billy, I guess, was saying that Joe Elliott from Def Leppard is using backing tracks on stage, and somebody else kind of backed them up. I couldn't find the article. I don't know if it was on Blabbermouth or another site. I have to look for it. But Joe Elliott responded basically it's like he didn't know who this Chuck guy was, which he probably doesn't know who Chuck Billy is from Testament. And I just can't remember who the other person was he was talking about. And if anybody's heard Def Leppard sing live, you have to kind of believe that they're not using backing tracks. Joe Elliott just really can't sing anymore. I mean, listen, I love those first two Def Leppard records. I mean, even Pyromania I kind of like now after growing out of it like really quickly, back in the 80s. But considering everything they did after that, I actually enjoy that record. But if you've heard him live, I mean, he really can't sing anymore. He's lost his voice. Everything had to get lowered down. It's in a different tune, a different key. He does the best he can, but I don't think he is. I'm sure there's some enhancements going on like most bands do, but I don't know. I got to look for that article, to be honest with you, and read it and see exactly what it says. It'd be kind of interesting. But I like the way it says, that Chuck guy, Chuck who? He had no idea who he was. All right. We're going to, We're going to get on some brand new Clovenhoof. Lee sent me the album last Sunday after the show. I got it too late to play last week. But I'm going to get a song on it now. Lee will be on the show in 2 weeks. The last Sunday of April, we'll have Lee in here. And I love talking to Lee. He's a good friend, an old friend. And we have a great time. And we never got to talk after the whole incident. I mean, we talked in person about, what happened with George from Masco. And he got kind of parted ways with Cloverhoof. But we never talked about it on air. We didn't have him on at that time. But we'll get him on this weekend. We'll talk to him all about it. And I'll let you know. But here's brand new Clovenhoof off of Heathen's Cross. This album is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's in my top 3 for the year right now. Harry Conklin, the Tyrant on vocals. When you go through the whole record, it sort of sounds a little bit like old Jack Panzer and old Clovenhoof mixed together. So let me know what you think. Here's Last Man Standing.
blow. If that's all that you got, say your prayers standing toe to toe. Messing with the big boys. Now I hit you hard, fast and low. Push it to the limit to ya. Just how far can you go? No surrender or retreat. You'll need an army, I can't be beat. This time I'll hold till I die. Yeah, last man standing in line. Got a fist full of fire, it's the end of your time. Last man and word be mine. Bring it on or rip out your spine. I'm the last man standing. I'm the last man standing. Alright, I'm the last man standing. I'm the last man standing. Get up and fight. Last man standing in line. Got a fist full of fire, it's the end of your time. Last man and word be mine. Bring it on or rip it just mine. Last man standing in line. Got a fist full of fire, it's the end of your time. Last man and word be mine. Bring it down or rip out your spine. I'm the last man standing. I'm the last man standing. Alright, I'm the last man standing. I'm the last man standing. Get up and fight. Get up and fight. Yeah.
Don't close your eyes. Don't fall asleep. Evil surrounds us like we've never seen. Trapped inside this place, a world we call home. We've come to the edge. Blasphemy and death now rule the way. The clouds grow dark, the days grow short. The end is here to stay. Fighting for our souls and lives, fighting
short. The end is here to stay. Time has come, our face been sealed. Judgment day is here. We had our chance, but turned away. So live on, burning hell. End times are here. Can you feel it coming? End times are here. We've all been blown away. Don't close your eyes. Don't fall asleep. Goes out on the weekends, I see pops and runs and blues. She's only 13 years old, yet she's in her mother's shoes. She's Friday night screaming and Saturday night dream. I'm walking out and doing all the thinking some see. I know you, you know me. What did they do? You're only 13. Memories are worth the future she may cry. Emotions from the little legend she may find. The film was such a summer being a funny joke. The thing that she's a nice night makes me choke. I know you, you know me. What did you do? You're only 13.
All right, we kicked off that set with brand new Cloven Hoof, Last Man Standing. Oh man, what a great record this new Cloven Hoof is. And like I said, we'll have Lee on the show in 2 weeks. We'll talk to him all about it then. Brand new Ruthless, End Times. Boy, 2024 is already starting out to be a killer year, and we're not even a quarter way through it. And right there, Sheer Terror with Only 13. I couldn't find the song saying only 6 years old. I guess you saw in the news the old Saxon bass player was doing something with a 6-year-old girl like 30 years ago, and it just came out now, and he's doing jail time. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on in this world. I mean, I can't remember the guy's name, to be honest with you. What was it? Oliver Dawson? I forgot his name, to be honest with you. The old drummer from, what the hell is that? I'm trying to look it up over here. I can't even think of his name right now, to be honest with you. Graham Oliver? I'm not even sure, the old bass player, but he was fooling around with a 6-year-old girl, the sick bastard. And it came out now, and, and something about 5 years. I don't know if it's jail time or I don't understand the British law system, but it looks like he got like probation or something But who knows what he did in all these years it came out, and it's just crazy when he has stuff like that. I mean, I don't even know what's going on with Carl Logan. Remember, he got caught with all that kiddie porn too. They kicked him out of Man of War after a little while, and everything kind of disappeared. Did he ever get jail time, or I don't know if ever came up with that? I think it was Steve Dawson. I'm sorry, I was getting so confused over there. So many people have come and gone through the Saxon ranks, but he's actually the original member and a founding member. Sick bastard, man. I hope he rots in hell for that. I don't know what he did. I don't want to know what he did, but he's just a sick bastard. But that was Sheer Terror doing Only 13. Sheer Terror was such great friends of mine back in the day. My band and Sheer Terror, we were like the, what do you call it, the night demon and the Sirth Ungle of the hardcore scene. If one got a gig, the other one was automatically put on it, One followed the other. Anytime we got a show, we got them on it, and when they got a show, they got us on it. And they were a great band. Blake was just an amazing guitar player. The Reverend Paul Bearer, the singer Paul, he was a sick bastard. Sharing a van with those guys, traveling all up and down the East Coast back then, was an experience, let me tell you. And Baron Mashusha, who plays in Carnival AD today, he was the original bass player in Sheer Terror back in the day. So we hung out with all those guys all the time. But Jason Martin and Mark Newman, they took over bass and drums right before the first record came out. I think they recorded that last demo tape with those guys, and they were great friends of my singer Terry's from out in the Rockaway. So if you haven't gotten any of the Sheer Terror records, go out and buy them. There's quite a few out there, and the best one is the first one, like always. And Paul's still out there with another version of Sheer Terror right now. So if you catch him in your neighborhood, go and check him out. I saw that Cintron was getting back together. George Cintron, I reached out to him so many years ago to come on. I think it was like in the MySpace days I found him. And I got to try to get him again. He's such an amazing guitar player, this guy. Cintron were a three-piece band from Long Island. They had the one record out and they kind of faded away, more in the hard rock vein. But I just enjoyed these guys, and I saw that there was a reunion. George plays every week at this club called Katie's Place in Smithtown, Long Island. Him and Bobby Rondinelli, he used to play with Rainbow and a lot of other bands back in the day. They play together there every week and they do like a jam type thing. But they advertise at a Cintron reunion. We went to go look it up. George is the only one of the three that's in there. I know he was like one of the main guys, but they all kind of sang. Like I said, he was the guitar player and the main guy in the band, but it would have liked to be nice to see that original lineup. But if you're interested, I think it's next week at Katie's in Smithtown, Long Island. Let's get on a song off the record. Here's Getaway.
When I'm
Future I'm a Getaway. I told you those guys were really good back in the day. They used to play a lot with Zebra. They kind of like melded together well, two three-piece bands. If you're interested, like I said, go see them next week. It's George mostly, but two other guys. But George really sang all the songs to begin with, so it doesn't really matter that it's not all the original guys anymore. I guess not. All right, you know what? We're going to play something from Hammerhead. We're going to get Pete on the phone right after that. Hey, next week we got Boss Tweed on the show. I've been looking to dig those guys up for the longest time. We got Scott Wood and Donnie Hart. And if you remember, Donnie Hart was actually in the original version of Pantera with Terry Glaze on vocals, the Abbott Brothers. And I don't remember who was playing bass. They were all kids. They were like teenagers back then. So we'll talk to him all about that band also. If it was just Donnie, I would talk to him a lot about the Pantera stuff and a little bit about Boss 3. But we got both guys on the band, so we're going to have to spread it out. So let's get on some Hammerhead right now. Annihilated Destruction. And then we'll get Pete on the line.
Suck it.
still sounds great. Holy cow. Let's get him on the line. Bear with me one second here while we dial him up, and we'll get this interview going. All right, here we go.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Okay, maybe we'll get his voicemail. We'll talk to his voicemail. All right, you know what? Let me
Is
try
not
one more time.
available.
All right, give me a second. Let's redial them. Sometimes, people have their phones off or they're not ready to go. There we go. Let's get this number dialed back in again. All right, here we go.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Pete.
All right, we keep getting his machine, so maybe we'll play another tune until he calls in. I think he has the show's number also, but maybe we'll give him one more shot. Here we go. Last attempt.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Okay, well, you know what? He called 4 times, nobody answered, so I'll play one more tune. We'll try it again. Here's Holocaust. Pete, this is Mike. You're live on air. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? This is Greg.
Oh, Greg, how are you? I'm sorry. I thought it was Pete. All the numbers come up zeros.
I'm just not able to get onto the site for some reason, and I was just calling. I just got this number, so I was just calling in and say, hey, wanting to listen to it, but can't get in for some reason. I can't get into your site for some reason.
Oh, you know, you gotta register to get in. But you know what? If I got you on air, Pete's not calling in. He's not answering. So how about me and you go at it?
Yeah, sure, no problem, man.
It sounds good to me.
I don't want to be stepping in front of Pete or anything. It's all good. He was supposed to call, but his dog got hurt today.
Yeah,
too, so.
I heard. I tried calling him. He's not answering the phone. That's why when you called in, I thought it was him calling back, but he's not answering the phone.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Well, so what's up?
So hey, listen, such a big fan of Hammerhead from going way back into the day. I mean, it seems like a lifetime ago, but hearing the new music, I mean, it's all good again.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we're having fun with it. We're really, we went camping and hung out, and then we were like, listening to some of this old stuff that we hadn't released, and then we had some new stuff that we had done, and we're like, we should try to get something going with it, just get it out there, and have some fun with it,
And that you did. I mean, for people that aren't familiar with the band, I mean, there's a lot of young kids out there these days just getting into this music. Let's kind of take it back to the very beginning. I guess it was like around 83, 84, Washington State. I mean, at that point in time, there was a great scene developing. Metal Church, Queensryche, Sanctuary. So many things happening over there.
Yeah, we were in the mix of it. We were having fun with those guys, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. How did it all come about?
Well, I just got out of the military, okay, and I had really, really wanted to be, play guitar, so I worked really hard at it. But I was an air traffic controller in the Navy, and I got out and I started a band up. And my dad was real happy about that. He can go from air traffic control. I said, I'm gonna join a band and go on the road, write songs.
Mike.
So then I just happened to be in the area where the Cooper brothers were, and I met them, and we just started jamming, and then we put an ad in the Rocket to find a singer in Seattle, and we found Pete. And then that's how it all started. And the drummer is the first one I met because he lived in Bellingham, and the Cooper brothers were up there too. So we all just got a place and started jamming, and that's how it started. And we found Pete. He was the first guy that we interviewed and last. We just said, "You're it, dude."
And that's a good thing. I
Well,
think we got Pete on the line right now. I tried calling Pete before. We couldn't get through. Pete, you there?
Yeah, you do.
All right.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Greg was calling in just to listen, and when I couldn't get you, I figured, hey, we'll start talking to Greg.
These stupid Android phones. You know how they work. The damn
Yeah, I
things. You know. Yeah. So how's it going, Mike?
Everything is going great. Greg is on the other line. Both of you guys are here tonight, so it's thrilled to have you here. And Greg was just kind of giving us the, how did things got started back in the day in the beginning. And I was saying, Washington, 1984, what an amazing scene taking place with bands like Metal Church, Queensryche, Sanctuary.
Oh, yeah.
Hammerhead comes onto the scene. I mean, how vibrant was it in Washington, especially like in the Tacoma area at that time?
It was really taken off. I mean, we recorded at Triad and did the Rock Forever project there. The same time Queensryche had just got done with their project, and really hooked up with some good engineers there. Tom Hall, Mike Totorello, and he's the one remastering the new stuff. We just got, well, you heard the new version of it that you just played, Holocaust.
Yeah.
He just cleaned it all up. We remastered it, and we're glad to get back out there and get it going again. It's been exciting.
That's
it's
great.
quite an honor.
You talk about Rock Forever, 1987. About 3 years after, I guess, the band formed. It doesn't seem like a long time for a band to get their own first record out, but in the world of heavy metal, I mean, in the world of music in general, 3 years could be a lifetime in a scene.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. We worked hard and saved money and put it all together. We didn't skimp on the quality. So that was mine and Greg's and all the boys in the band's feeling was we got to do a quality album. And we lucked out with some great engineers,
Yeah, we all lived in the same house and saved our money up and just hung out and played in the basement. That's how we wrote Neighbors. It was because the neighbor kept clipping our clothesline and putting our clothes in the mud. And she'd start the lawnmower up as soon as we started playing. So I wrote 10 songs that would piss her off,
And the whole time, Mike, her daughters was flashing us through her bedroom window.
Like, come on, you guys are rock stars. That's what happens with them. That's what comes with the title.
Yeah. It was crazy times.
The girls that used to come over went and picked all her daisies in the front of her house and just left them laying all over the lawn.
Maybe that's why the mother cut down the clothesline so she has some clothes to put on that naked in the window all the time.
Yeah.
But those are the stories that make things great. But, kind of getting back to the beginning there, you guys are together now. You're writing music. You have a sound. You have a style that you're looking to develop. The record comes out. You did everything on your own back then, too, which was kind of rare in the 80s for a band, to go without some sort of label, even an underground label.
Yeah.
Was it difficult?
Well, Don Cooper, our bass player, he was the master at fanzines and getting us noticed overseas as far as the fanzines in Europe and Spain and Belgium. And then we got on the Satan's Revenge project, and that went overseas and was getting spun. And Master of the Frustration shot right up the charts on the metal hours over there from right up to number 2 and 1, within 3 days. And it was quite the honor to hear that happen. That was a big moment in our career. You know what I mean?
Wow, maybe
getting
we can do
recognized
this.
over there.
Yeah, maybe we can do this, Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, back then,
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
had a chance to make it. Everybody had a chance to succeed. It happened for some bands. You saw bands that were so talented and so great, bands like Hammerhead, and then a lot of bands fell by the wayside, especially the longer it took for things to happen, and the later we got into the 80s, everything started changing. I mean, the same scene that gave us you and all those other great bands also kind of took it away from us when the grunge thing started.
Yeah, the grunge scene
it's-
kind of put a little damper on it. So.
Yeah,
It's
Greg.
coming back now, though, big time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And what else helped us out, really helped us out also was getting in the Heroes of the Metal Underground, the book that came out about 3 months ago. That just started sparking attention all over again. So that was pretty cool. Alejandro's Anastasis and is the guy that wrote it, and he's from Greece, so
Yeah.
he's getting a lot of attention over there. And me and Greg kind of got together, we're talking, and I said, let's do some European heavy metal festivals over there, so that's what we're shooting for. As soon as this new remaster's done, and then going to get it pressed up on some CDs to a smaller label, and he's got outlets he can distribute to Japan, Europe, Spain, Germany, and the United States. So, like I talked to Greg, I said, well, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Why
absolutely.
not?
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
Hey, all the kids are grown up and we're no wife. I'm not tied down. I want to go play.
I like to
It's
join
fun.
you.
It's the best job in the world, man.
It's true, and what's different now is that where everything took place pretty much in the USA in the '80s. That's where every band wanted to come and break big and be. Today it is overseas. Greece is like humongous for heavy metal. Down south in South
Yes.
America, humongous for heavy metal. And with the internet today, you could kind of find where your fan base is and kind of work on those areas. So getting over to Europe for those festivals would be amazing. You fly out for the weekend, you play in front of a big audience, and you come back home again. No worse for wear.
Yeah, that's true. I'd also like to thank Paul Curdy and Kevin Hansen for doing what they're doing. Our management crew, they're getting out there and getting it going again and excited. Paul's got some really good connections he's hooked me up with, and he's done phenomenal work on the videos from the old VHS and bringing them back alive, and just can't thank him enough. And Kevin for all he's done throughout the years, for Hammerhead.
Yeah, it's important to have that support.
And I'm totally grateful to you for having us on your show, Mike. And I'm going to become an avid Sirius listener now.
Well, that's good because now we'll have 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
But listen, last year you put out the Priest Manga EP. It was a digital release, kind of letting people know, you're back. Here's what's going on. Were all these songs newly written songs, or were there stuff left over from the old days you kind of reworked or remastered?
No, I just, on the lyrics on that, the way Greg wrote the music, it just sounded mythical to me. So I came up with the idea of Priestmonger. I think I watched a movie where these Mungan priests are way up in the mountains and stuff, and just kind of, the music just kind of drew me to that era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A priestmonger, how they're living in the hills and shit. You never see them, right? And that's kind of what the lyrics are all based around. And when Greg came up with that music, I said, man, this will work. You know what I'm saying?
True. Does, absolutely. Greg, when you were writing and putting these songs together, I mean, did you kind of have to think back of like what you did in the past and try to recreate? Because it sounds like, you kind of picked up where you left off, from the last record.
Yeah, I've written so many songs, and it's just like what I do is I just try to come up with a new idea that's different than I've done before. That's kind of the way I am. I try not to, I try to get as much eclectic variety and when I'm writing songs, and it just comes to me. It's like I get a feeling, and I just start playing, and it starts happening. So
well, I think Greg,
I love
Greg and me.
We have Bobby in the band now. He's the one that used to play with Jerry Cantrell, before Alice in Chains, and he's on board. So he's been a big part of our crew for a long time. He's not the original drummer, but he definitely stepped in after Dave got injured. So, but yeah, we're just grateful to be able to get out and play again and see some fans and just, bring some happiness to the world,
Yeah, well, that's true. And as far as Greg's songwriting, I think him and me know each other so well that he kind of molds it around what he thinks I can perform to. You see what I'm saying, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we kind of work together. I mean, we're like brothers. Sometimes we get into it, but we always get around it.
That's a great way of putting it.
It's kind of like two alphas in the same room for too long. You can't have that alpha mentality a little bit, So But
You know, and, I'd like to say thanks to John Eddie too for playing the bass tracks on Priestmonger. That's he's a bass player that I've been palling around with up here in Squim for a long time. So I just appreciate him as well. You know what I mean?
I sure do.
Yeah, we've had a lot of band members in and out, but but the core is kind of the main guys.
Yeah.
We've always had a great chemistry. We've always had a great chemistry. We just clicked, So I remember in the old rehearsal days, we had like a 38, 40 song set list of songs that we could play. It was like that's a lot. I was like, wow. I think about it. We had a lot of songs on the list, and we could just pick one and play it. So
yeah. We were always writing and thinking ahead for the next album, which I wish would have came one after another, but we're back now.
None of us worked. We just went to the soup kitchen and then went back and rehearsed.
We're talking about the old, back in the 80s, and you write all those songs. I mean, was there plans for a second record? Because the band went on for about another 5 or 6 years, I think, after the record came out. Was there any plans for a second record or follow-up? Was it recorded? Was it done? How did it all come to an end?
We just,
Go ahead, Greg.
We split up for a while. Pete did his band, and I did mine, and, we toured as Hammerhead. Different members, and then Pete toured too as Hammerhead, different members. So and then came back. So it's better that way.
Yeah, that's all good. I was, after we kind of were doing our own thing for a while, I ended up hooking up with Robbie Knievel and got on the A&E show, Knievel's Wild Ride. So
yeah,
I was busy filming and touring with Robbie, and boy, did I get to see some things, man. First time I'd ever been to New York was with him when we jumped the Intrepid there. I don't know if you remember that.
I sure do. 2004.
Yeah. And, boy, I got to meet some characters in New York. What a great place. One of the firefighters that was there for 9/11 took me out that night, took me to this bar where you got to knock on the window or the door, and they open this little box on the door and say, who is it and stuff. And just like this mafia bar, dude. But they were all cool, and they had a big old spaghetti feast laid out for me, and we drank booze all night, and they were great people. But they told me, now, if we're going to let you leave, you got to bring back 25 T-shirts signed by Robbie Knievel, otherwise we're coming after you. So
that's New York.
So guess what I did? The next morning, I pounded on Robbie's hotel door, and I said, dude, you got to sign 25 of these shirts or I'm a dead man.
That's some crazy stuff. Of course, I know Robbie Knievel. I mean, his father was evil. I mean, does it get any better than that in life?
Oh, no. The whole tour was amazingly crazy. Yeah. So, but good time. I'm sorry to see that he passed over a little over a year ago. He was a good guy, a good friend, and he showed me a lot about the business as far as entertainment business. The guy was pretty crude at how he did things. So, that's pretty amazing, really.
I mean, you've gone through the music business, so you know how rough that can be. I mean, is there much difference between that and like TV and entertainment?
Well, the only thing is they're following around with cameras 24/7. They're pounding on your door at 5:30 in the morning, wanting to film you getting in the shower and stuff. And I ain't having none of that. You wait till I get up, and then I'll come out of the room, and then we can go do our thing. You know what I'm saying? So that got kind of annoying, after a while, because they're around you 14 days all day until you go to sleep with cameras.
Yeah.
So it took a bit to get used to.
I'm sure I can never get used to that, but that's part of the business that they're a part of, and they learn to live with it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. But they were a great crew, Screaming Flea Productions. They were awesome. Christina Kinwell, she was the main gal doing all the shooting and the editing, and she was phenomenal. I mean, Annie took care of us, and Screaming Flea as well, So productions. So,
Yeah.
and then, we used some of my music on the show, which was pretty cool too. Some of my stuff I did on my own. But anyhow,
Well, that's great. I mean, going back to what I think I was talking about before, how did the band break up? How did it come to an end? When did you guys decide to end it?
We just
I think it, no, I think it, let me have this one. It wasn't Greg. It wasn't any of the other members, but there was one member that we just didn't see eye to eye, and I had had enough. So that pretty much ended that deal.
Well, it can only have been
And,
it can only have been Bobby or Don.
Oh, Bobby?
say that again.
Mike,
I said it could only have been Bobby or Don. Those are only two guys left at that time, right?
No, it wasn't either one of them.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not going to drop any names. You know what I mean?
I'll go through them all. You just blink your eyes when I get to the right one.
Let's just leave it at that, Mike.
Okay.
That's old news, right?
Yeah.
We're back, and that's all that counts. And we're looking forward. If you can set us up with some shows in New York, we'd love to come down.
I could definitely throw you some
sometime
promoters'
in the near
names.
future.
I could definitely throw you some
What's that?
promoters' names. I can hook you up with
That's
some
cool.
promoters over here, definitely.
Definitely. Well, I know. I talked to Danny Stanton. I'm sure you know who he is, right?
Danny from Takashi, yeah.
Yeah. I spoke with him 8 months ago or so on the phone and told him what we were planning to do because the book was coming out, and he gave me some good advice. I haven't got back to him yet because we needed to get the stuff remastered and cleaned up and get some of our newer stuff polished up and done, and that's what we've been doing the last 8 months. So,
Yeah.
hopefully he's still open to helping us out that way, and if you've got some promoters, that'd be wonderful too. So we're ready to really spit some blood on stage.
That would be fantastic. Talking about the music, I mean, this year, you looking to re-release the first record or just put out a new record? Are you going to try to do both?
No,
well,
I think
we
talked about this. I'm leaning. We're not totally decided yet, but I'm leaning more towards like a 50-50 album, where it's got like stuff that's never been released that was on our earlier stuff that's been remastered, and then the new stuff on the same album, one side and the other side, like 50-50. So it'll be new and old.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. So that's what my idea is. But we haven't decided yet. But that's what
we're
I'm
working out all those details. Yeah, we're going to work out all those details, but definitely that the new stuff is pretty badass too. You know what I mean? As far as just the way me and Greg click, and he'll be in the studio when I'm doing my vocals and stop. Pete, try doing it like this, dude. I like it when you get gritty. Okay, like what? He said, go do it. I do it. He goes, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So we kind of feed off each other. You know what I mean?
We have fun in the studio. That's the main thing. I
love it.
I love recording.
That's my comfort place, the studio and the stage.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like things are easier now because, like, the pressure is off you from the 80s, where everybody tried to make it in the 80s, tried to become the biggest thing in the world. Now everybody got back together. They're just having a good time. They're enjoying themselves. And it shows in a lot of the new music they're putting out because I think that pressure of trying to make it in the business is off. And now it's really all just for having a good time and reminiscing and reliving those days.
Yeah, to me, it's keeping the legacy alive. You know what I mean? Because the music was so good, I felt, gosh, why didn't we get that huge break? We got a semi break, on the independent side, but never on a major label side. You know what I mean? So But as far as I'm concerned, we achieved a lot for what we did when we did it, more than most of those bands did. So,
And we
I'm
did
grateful
it,
for all those times.
and we did it because we didn't really do it for the stardomship either. We just did it because it's what we loved to do, man. We just liked rocking out and writing songs, that was it. We didn't care about nothing else, So,
Yeah.
Pete, that's just the way we've always been. We just
Well, that's kind of because Greg wrote the lyrics for Stone Cold Crazy in the music, and that was about his life in the military. He was an air traffic controller. So there ain't much more stress than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tell you what, getting up on stage in front of a lot of people my first time, though, freaked me out. I got sick to my stomach. I was like, it was 4th of July in Oak Harbor, and I just got out of the military, and we were playing on the stage down in 4th of July, and I was like, holy shit, this is the first time I'm stepping up in front of people, period. I was like about ready to fall down, but we did it. But it was fun.
Well, thanks for your service, Greg. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And same to you, Mr. Don Cooper, for your service. We got to give Mr. Coop DeVille, Don Cooper, a plug here. He's our bass man.
Coop's the man.
Yeah.
Love Coop. Well, we're all like brothers,
Don,
That's what the key is,
Don has really been a big process in keeping Hammerhead alive, and for not only all of us, but the legacy of Tommy Cooper, who passed away, who was our other guitar player from the beginning. And God bless you, Tommy. I know you're hearing us from up there. We're not ready yet to come see you, but one of these days, you know what I mean?
Keep doing what you're doing. Was there ever an attempt to put the band back together before this one?
What's that? No.
Did you try to put the band back together at any other point in time?
Yeah, me and Greg. Yeah, we were mainly doing studio work, mainly. But we did some shows, me and Greg, probably about 10 since then, right, Greg?
Yeah.
With you, me, and Troy, and those outdoor festival parties he put on. And, we did, what was that bar Joy owned?
Yeah, I did. Pete did his own project, and I did another project of my own too. So we've got project albums that we've done too. So it's kind of cool because Pete kind of has his side of music, and I do too. So kind of when you separate them, you see how it melds together into Hammerhead.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
But the question was, Greg, have we ever done a show since we split up back in the early '90s? And the answer to that is yes.
Oh, yeah,
I would say 8 or 10 shows together throughout those times, after we were writing new music. We'd test it out live and see, how the crowd would take to it. So,
yeah, and Dave, our original drummer, had a badass studio. So we got in there and recorded this new stuff. And, boy, it's a big difference now, the guitar sounds and stuff. Like, I was running 3 amps. So, I have a Mesa Boogie and a Soldano in stereo with a Marshall JCM 100, and man, it was fat. It's like 3 guitars going on at one time, But the technology's gotten so much better from back when we used to have a little 4-track recorder. You hit the button, and we have to overdub and stuff.
I think that track Annihilated Destruction was that done on 16 or 8? Do you remember, Greg?
I don't know.
That certain track?
I think that was 16. I think that was on the
Fossex. Yeah, that we did in our studio. So
yeah, we did that ourselves.
Yeah, we had a couple good guys that had all the gear. Jamie Hahn and who was the other? Jamie Durnan. They were kind of our sound tech engineer guys at our studio and our live shows. And then we had Tom Hall, Mike Tortorello for the recording side and Triad. So. We got really lucky with some great engineers, live engineers. We landed a great setup, a great crew we had, Shane Steele, Dave Kahn, God rest his soul. He just passed away a couple of years ago. Jamie Hahn, Jamie Durnan. I
Mikey
can't
Barton.
thank all them guys enough. Mikey Barton.
Mikey Barton's got
all-
guitar back in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
you know, so
a lot of stories.
we were lucky in that format.
Well, I'm glad for that. But guys, I'm going to have to cut you loose in 2 minutes. I want to finish playing the music. I got another guest lined up a little while after that. I'm hoping that you guys can make things happen this year with new music, old music remastered, just getting a release out there, maybe getting onto some shows. It would be great to see you guys out there playing live again.
Yeah. Thank God for the Heavy Metal Mayhem radio show.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks. Thanks a lot. All right, bye.
It has been an absolute
Thanks a lot.
pleasure.
Bye.
Take care, guys. It was good talking to you.
All right.
All right, man, later.
All right, let's get on some more music, and then we will have to get to the next guest in a few minutes. You know what? I started Holocaust. Let's finish playing it.
People scream.
with Holocaust. I'm looking forward to new music from those guys, and love to hear that album remastered. It deserves to get out there again. It's been many years since people have heard it. There's a whole new generation of kids out there just looking for this great classic 80s music. So hopefully it'll come out this year. All right, Christian wanted to hear Enemy's Fate this year. The friends of his and his bandmates, they put out a little song called Personal Foe. Let's get that on for Christian right now.
Mistakes that are circling, lead out and set free. What a surface and burn all the reborn times of agony, drowned to be about from the memories.
Mega Attack with Whisper in the Dark. Right before that, Hat Trick with Rules of War. I have to look up that band, see if I can find the member. I forgot how good that record was. And right before that, Enemy's Fate with Personal Foe. Let's get on something by the Wizards, and we'll talk to George right after this song. We'll play another song. We're going to wrap it up after that. Next week on the show, Boss Tweed. I've been looking for these guys for a long time, and I finally found them. So we'll be on the show. And Jeremy Golden from Heaven Hell Records is going to check in with us next week to let us know what's going on with the label and just chit-chat about music and a lot of the crap we deal with in general. All right, here you go. Equinox of Fire by the Wizards. Hey, George, this is Mike. Can you hear me?
Hi, Mike.
Hey, George, how are you today?
Okay, I'm feeling good. I had a trouble week, but now I'm fine. I'm ready, and I'm really happy to talk to you.
That's great, because it's all about the music in the end.
Yeah, music makes us feel great. That's the best thing it
Absolutely.
has.
It is. And your new record, The Exit Garden, does just that. I have to say, the Wizards, I mean, I wasn't able to get into the band during the first record because it was very hard to find. But then when Full Moon and Scorpio came out, I bought it and I was such a fan since that time. I mean, I think that you guys were creating something that was missing in music. A little bit of rock, a little bit of classic, a little bit of heavy metal. It was all kind of mixed together.
Oh, I thank you for your kind words. We when we started this band, it was like we weren't that aware of that we could do something important or meaningful for anyone, because it was just like having a good time and rehearsing. But then we started to feel that something, I don't know, a special chemistry between us. And so it was easy for us to put a plan and start thinking that we could do great things. Uh, and when we come from really different backgrounds, we all had different bands when we started the Wizard, and they were really. I mean, one was punk rock, another one was like stoner doom, the other one was hardcore band, thrash hardcore. I don't know, rock and roll, high energy. We all came from different kinds of rock, heavy, punk, and it was natural for us to do this thing because we all loved Black Sabbath, we all loved Black Flag, that kind of Judas Priest, early Judas Priest, 70s rock, and it was like it flows. We never think about what we're doing. It just comes, and we do it as we feel it.
It shows in the music for sure. I mean, you definitely can hear that when you guys are playing. But, considering that there were so many different backgrounds for the members and they were all into different types of music, was it easy to meld it all together into one sound? Did it come kind of natural, or did you kind of have to work on putting all the different pieces and sounds together?
No, it was really it was easy because it was natural. We started doing some covers. I think it was The Code, Wildflower, Turbo Negro. Uh, Maybe we also played a cover by Nirvana, uh, and it was like we got the rhythm, the chemistry, and then we started developing some ideas, that some songs, and like in a I don't know, some month, because I was the last one to join the band when it was in the creation. And I arrived and we were recording our first demo in 2 months or something. So it was really easy. It was natural. Everything was flowing, and we didn't think about what we were doing. It was like, oh, this is great. This is like heavy punk, stoner rock and roll or something like that.
True. When you have that many genres of music kind of melded into one, I mean, it really appeals to a large audience. And I look at the progression from the Wizards to Full Moon and Scorpio to Rise of the Serpent to the brand new record, The Exit Garden. There's been such a growth in the band musically and sound wise, and especially lyrically.
Yeah, because at first it's been a decade now, and it has gone really fast, and especially these last 4 years with the pandemic, and we were more or less we didn't rehearse for almost 2 years, and we were like, it was a halt in the band, but um, the progression was like when we realized that we could do something great after we recorded the first album, and we were lucky because we had Dean Rispler from New York City to produce. He came to produce our record for Full Moon in Scorpio, and then also Rise of the Serpent. And he was playing with the Dictators New York right then, and he's such a kind person, and he helped us a lot, and we learned a lot because having a producer come from a different country from, and it was like for us was like, Dean, you're showing us how rock music and American productions are done, and I remember I was like a child because I understood how a proper record was made and recorded and produced and think about this and do this, Jorge. And I remember I telling Dean I can do it better. And it was like this progression, and we learned a lot. So when we started producing this album, the last one, The Exit Garden, Felipe and I, both the guitar players, we knew it. This time we have to do it ourselves because we can produce this album ourselves because we have learned a lot and we have evolved and this is the chemistry we have now. And yeah, that's more or less what we've been doing.
Yeah, the album sounds great, The Exit Garden. So, like, after learning everything you needed to learn from working with other producers over the years, did you still find it a little difficult producing the album yourselves? Because sometimes when you're so close to the music, being the writers of it also, you're kind of biased to, like, how you want things to sound. So is it better not having anybody on the outside telling you, maybe we should do it this way, where you have all the control over it?
It's like as you said, because you're producing your own music. So sometimes you need this outside view to tell you, hey, maybe you should change this part, or this is too long, or be careful with this build-up part, or whatever. But for me, especially because it was like, yeah, and when you were saying the lyrics, at first the lyrics they weren't so meaningful. I mean, they were more like a history that you imagine or something related more with the occult and mythology and esoteric things. But as we have evolved, and especially in this album, the Exit Garden, the lyrics are really personal, are about what happened to us. It's a record about life, and it's about death a lot, death related with dream, but it's also about life, and that's why the last song is Dawn of Another Life, and that song I wrote it's really personal, and well, I think it's better because you are expressing your emotions. But it was hard to produce, especially for me because I wrote a lot of the music and the lyrics, and sometimes I was like, oh, this is not good enough, and trying to improve but it was worth the work because we were really happy when we heard the master, and it was like, oh yeah, that's what we wanted to do. We have achieved our goal. So.
The album does sound great. You would never know it's your first time producing, but I'm sure you learned a lot of lessons from this, experience. So when the next album comes along, you kind of know what not to do.
Yeah, and that's the point. Because right now I'm thinking about some new songs, and I always like to imagine the albums before they came out. And this album, I got the track list and how it had to. It's like a puzzle. You put the pieces, and you have to put the pieces in the right order to create something which is a collection of songs, but also like a whole piece of work. So I think for the next one, that's what we have always tried to improve. For some people, it would be like, no, this record is better. I prefer Full Moon Scorpio. For me, it's Rise of the Serpent. Oh. But that's the thing about music. You're always trying to do what your heart tells you have to do, and we do not play thinking, oh, people want this or people want that. No, that this is what we want to express. And this time the Wizards are this. Maybe in 2 years we have another album and it's completely different.
True. 2 years, I really thought you would have a new record out in a couple of months. You guys are putting out a new record almost every year until the pandemic, and then obviously, you couldn't. But you guys have been putting out records really consistently since the beginning, and the last two being on High Roller Records and Full Moon on Fire, well-known underground labels. I mean, how does the label help you? How does being on High Roller Records help the band out?
Well, we are really, really, really happy with High Roller because I remember buying some records by the label, and I really liked the approach because they can put a record by a really, I don't know, heavy, traditional heavy metal or more punk rock and roll, to like high energy or more obscure or heavier kinds of heavy metal. So that wide approach, I think it suits us, and also they care a lot. The records, the covers, they are like they put so much detail in doing beautiful records. So when you have them in your hand, it's like, oh yes, this is a good vinyl, good OP. And they have believed in us because it was they contacted us after Full Moon in Scorpio was released, and they told us that they would like to work with us, and we said totally yes. They have helped us a lot, and they believed in the band because when we were stopped for almost 4 years, and we contacted them, hey, we're planning on recording something, they were like, yes, we're totally go on. What do you need this time? And so everything is perfect. We're really happy because they are giving us a chance. I mean, to put out these records in countries like yours and whole Europe, also I think in Japan, and it's like really a really emotional thing for us.
Sure. I mean, distribution is a big thing. I mean, with the internet, you can kind of do a lot on your own, but there's nothing like having a label, getting your record out there. Like you said, people in Japan, people over in Europe, here in the U.S., South America. There is a benefit that comes with being on a label. And with the new record, do you think there'll be vinyl copies of it out, or is it just going to be strictly CD?
No, there are vinyl copies. I haven't seen them yet because I couldn't go to the rehearsal room, but we have some copies, and my bandmates they have shown the copies through pictures and little videos, and they're beautiful. I think it's 3 colors. It's black, orange, and some kind of splatter or something like that. There's also a CD version, and there's also a cassette version. So everything is on hold.
Wow, I mean, not many labels put cassettes out anymore. I'm going to have to go and buy an old car so I can get a cassette player in there.
Yeah, and I had a car until like, I don't know, 8 years ago or something, and I always had a cassette, and I loved it.
Yeah.
That sound. And when you have listened a lot to, and it's like it has a noise, but it was a good thing. It's my childhood, and I know an hours recording cassettes and all that stuff.
True. One thing I think that makes the band keep getting better and better is that it's the same lineup since the beginning. You managed to keep the band together pretty much for the last, 10 or 11 years. And that definitely has to help with the growing sound within the band.
Yeah, it definitely has because we know each other. It's really easy for us to write music and to rehearse. Even if we are kind of, like Felipe has said in other interviews, like a dysfunctional family because we're always shouting and sometimes we get angry and we are really cynical or we don't have this dark sense of humor, but we're always laughing in the end and we get along. We're really close friends. So everything is like natural and we really have a good time. When we go out and play, it's like going on holiday with your best friends, and everything is fine, and everything flows. And so that's an important thing, because we know many bands that, and it's really difficult to be the same. It's really difficult because of personal issues, or maybe that you don't want to follow a line, or I don't know, or fight or whatever. But in our case, it's like we're like a family. So that also, you can hear that in the songs, in the music. It's really easy for us to write and play and build something together.
That's very important to have that kind of chemistry within a band, and it's kind of rare these days. But you guys got these records out. I know you play live out where you are. I mean, is it difficult trying to branch out on the live front, like come to the USA, come to South America? Even though you're sort of part of Europe, you're kind of far away from Central Europe where most of the action takes place. So how is it playing live? Is it difficult to get on tours or go out for a long length of time?
In Spain, it's not that hard. It's not been that hard, because we've played all around the country, from north to south, from west to east, and everyone, it's crazy here in Spain. We're really the same. We like partying and rock and roll, and getting along, and having and spending time in the streets, and so everything is quite easy. But we like going out, because we have played in France many times, also in Germany, and it's the same, because we had a tour when the pandemic hit. It was everything prepared in Germany, and a really good tour, but it was canceled. And then we had another one 2 years ago, and it was canceled also because of the pandemic. So it was the same, because we when we toured in 2019 Germany, we couldn't go, the five of us, because Felipe, the guitar player, he couldn't come. So it was a friend of ours who came. So we wanted to go, all of us, the five of us, to tour Germany, but it's been impossible. But I think we are going to do it. And also years ago, we talked about going to the United States and also South America, but it was kind of hard. It's kind of hard. I mean, you have to go one step farther, or one step above. I know a band from here, a Spanish band. They are really good. Angelus Apatria, and they play the United States, and so it can be done. But for us, it's still something quite difficult.
Yeah, it's gotten harder since the pandemic for a lot of bands too, because the price of everything has gone up. Things have gotten more expensive. A lot of the clubs and the bars and the places where bands played have closed down because they couldn't survive. So, and then you have all the bands that couldn't play for the last 2 years all out there at the same time. So there's a lot of bands going out there playing. So it has to be really difficult to try to line up anything right now.
Yeah, but well, here now we have planned some, like a little tour here in Spain to present the album, and they're calling us for festivals and all the things. So it's like things have the wheel has started rolling again. So well, our idea is to prepare another concert, or another sort of concert when when we're able, and maybe to visit once again Germany, France, Portugal. I don't know. We would like to go also to Sweden or Scandinavia, also to the United Kingdom. Well, we will see. You have to show that you can play, so people can call you, and everything is good for the deal for everyone. So sometimes it's not that easy.
I know, it definitely is not easy. George, I'm not going to keep you. I want to play some songs off the new record next. And, you know, The Wizards, The Exit Garden, it's officially out today. Today's the big day, the release date today.
Yeah.
And so the whole world will hear it if they haven't yet. And you did an amazing job on this record. Where's the best place for people to keep up with the band, to find out what's going on? Is it like, you know, on your Facebook page or social media?
Yeah, I think I'm not really connected to the social media, but I think Facebook and Instagram are the best because our bass player is the one who does that. Also, we have the Bandcamp, YouTube. YouTube, we had a problem with our channel, but there you can find many videos, and so there, if you look, Spotify right now has the record, and I think Amazon, Apple Music. I think most of the music platforms, and you can find us.
That they do. And George, the best of luck with the band, the Exit Garden. What a great album you guys put out. I'm so happy for you. I hope you can get to the U.S. one day. I'd love to see you live.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm really happy that you like the album, and we will try to keep the rhythm. And now I'm starting writing new songs, and we're now just thinking in presenting this album. But in my mind, there's the next one also.
That's very important. I'm glad that you're working on the next one because I'm looking forward to that one already. This one will keep me busy until then. So, George, you take care, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. And really appreciate your interest, Mike. Hacks from Spain.
My pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
right, the Wizards, Full Moon and Scorpio. What a great young band out of Spain, huh? I tell you, I really enjoy those guys. If you haven't picked up one of the records, go ahead and do so. They got about four of them out right now. Solid band. That about wraps it up for tonight, I guess, huh? One more song and we're going to call it an evening over here. I saw that Steve Brown jumped up on stage and played with Ace Frehley in New Jersey last night. I guess it was the other night, actually, Friday night, which I find funny considering that they were both talking shit about each other on interviews a couple of weeks back. Steve says that, he wrote almost the whole album, the new Ace Frehley album, 10,000 Volts. He wrote the whole thing. Ace responded back that he didn't write, hardly any of it. He was the one that wrote a lot of it. And if anybody knows Ace Frehley, Ace hardly wrote any of his own music. I mean, in Kiss, his solo stuff, there was always other people. He was like the Ozzy Osbourne of songwriting. I mean, he had a little hand in certain things, but other people wrote most of his music for him. So I kind of believe that, Steve Brown did write the bulk of this record. But they were up there jamming the other night, so I guess they let bygones be bygones. But a little of them are going back and forth in the news over there for a while. And what I love is that Danny Lilka from Nuclear Assault, the original Anthrax bass player, is out playing live with the band right now over in South America. Dan's a great guy. My band played with him a few times back in the day. It killed me. We talked about this with Carl last week. I hated it that, when they kicked him out of the band. Neil Turbin wasn't getting along with him. Said it's him and me. They kicked him out. I'm glad when they did SLD, they were kind of back together, the three of them from Anthrax. But he's out there playing tonight, and he sounds great live, considering that he only had a little bit of time to learn a lot of songs that he had nothing to do with in Anthrax. And they did Death Rider. It's funny because everybody's posting videos of the show, but all the posting is the songs that they're always posting. The stuff in Anthrax that they did after Danny was in the band. Nobody posted a video of them doing Death Rider live, which Anthrax very rarely do. And it's once in a blue moon they played us some Metal Thrash Man, they do here and there, but those were two tunes that they added to the set. I guess Gadam was in the band. And it's kind of a shitty thing, too, because Danny is such a great guy, and I'm maybe kind of hoping that this is like him being back in the band permanently. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but it sucks in a way because Frank Bello is the only cool guy in the band. Frank is such a sweetheart of a guy. I mean, so you don't want to see him leaving the band unless he wanted to do it on his own for whatever reason. I just think he might have had some family stuff to take care of and couldn't make these shows. But it was cool to see Dan up there. Now get Neil Turbin back in there, and now we're talking Anthrax all over again. The Anthrax that I love, that most of us love, and that they want to see play live. So can it happen? I doubt it'll ever happen, but it was pretty cool. But if you ever watch it, I think it was Anthrax at 40. They did like this web series a couple of years ago for the 40th anniversary. And it was actually pretty good because they interviewed all the people that were in the band at one point in time. And they actually gave Neil Turbin quite a bit of time talking on there, which I was surprised. So it's really good. You can find it on YouTube. I think it's just called Anthrax at 40. I think it was like a 6 or 7 part series. Really good if you haven't had a chance to catch it. And I wanted to see that video from Azra. It's like a little documentary on Azra Records. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. I put on about the first 2 minutes, and I had to go out. So I'm going to try to watch that tonight. But hey, I want to thank all my guests. I want to thank George for being on there tonight from the Wizards. I want to thank Pete and Greg from Hammerhead. Don't forget to tune in next week with the guys from Boss Tweed. Everybody have a great week. Enjoy. We're going to wrap it up here tonight with one more song. How about we do some Griffin, Heavy Metal Attack. Take care, everybody. Have a great week.